Have you ever wondered who your favorite singer was really texting late at night? The tabloids only catch half the story. We are diving deep into the secret romances of 17 R&B legends. From hidden husbands to messy breakups that played out on social media, this is the side of the music business they did not want you to see. 1. Mariah Carey. Let us start with the woman who sits on the absolute throne of the music industry. Mariah Carey is not just a singer. She is the voice of a generation, and she has more #1 hits than anyone in history except the Beatles. But what many people overlook is that behind the glitter and the high notes, her romantic life was a roller coaster of control and rebellion. It all started with a fairy tale that was actually a nightmare. Back in the early 90s, she married the head of Sony Music, Tommy Mottola. To the outside world, it looked perfect. He was the powerful executive, and she was the young star. But the thing nobody tells you is that this marriage was like living in a gilded cage. He was 20 years older than her and reportedly controlled every single move she made. He watched who she talked to and where she went. It was suffocating. When Mariah finally broke free and divorced him in 1998, the celebration did not last long because she was ready to make up for lost time. She immediately jumped into a romance with the New York Yankees legend Derek Jeter. The crazy part is that she started seeing him while he was technically still involved with someone else. This was her moment of rebellion. They met on a roof and shared a secret moment that she later wrote songs about. It was the first time she felt free to be with a man she actually chose. But her love life was just getting started. After the baseball star, she moved on to the Latin superstar Luis Miguel. They were the ultimate power couple for a while, traveling the world and looking glamorous, but that flame burned out too. Then came the moment that shocked everyone. After knowing him for barely any time at all, she married the actor Nick Cannon in a lightning-fast ceremony in the Bahamas. People thought it was a prank. They had twins and renewed their vows every year, but even that ended in a split. However, the real scandal that everyone still whispers about is the alleged relationship with the rapper Eminem. The rapper claimed for years that they dated for 6 months and that Mariah was wild behind closed doors. He even played voicemails that he claimed were from her. Mariah completely denied it. She said they never even kissed. She fired back with a savage song called Obsessed, where she dressed up like him in the video. It was a massive public feud that proved one thing. Mariah might act like a delicate butterfly, but she fights dirty when she needs to. Her image as the perfect diva got cracked open, revealing a woman who loved hard and had a very busy dance card. But if you think her list of lovers is impressive, wait until you hear about the tragic double life of the next icon on our list. 2. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston was the golden girl. She was the prom queen that America wished it had. Her voice was a national treasure, but her personal life was a tragedy that played out in slow motion for the whole world to see. In 1992, she shocked her fans by marrying the bad boy of R&B, Bobby Brown. It was the classic case of the good girl falling for the rough guy. What followed was 14 years of absolute chaos. Their marriage was full of high drama that eventually made it onto reality TV. There were constant rumors of intense fights and substances taking over their lives. At one point, Whitney even had to bail Bobby out of jail on Christmas Day. It was messy. The tabloids were obsessed with them. There was the infamous moment where she told the press to kiss her behind. There were reports of infidelity on both sides and late-night calls to the police. But here is the twist that adds a whole new layer to her story. While everyone was focused on her chaotic marriage to a man, the deepest cut was the decades-long whisper that her true soulmate was not a man at all. For years, people in the industry said her heart belonged to her best friend and assistant, Robin Crawford. They were inseparable since they were teenagers working at a community center in New Jersey. In 2019, long after Whitney had passed away, Robin finally confirmed the truth in a book. She said they had been lovers and that they had a deep physical and emotional bond. Whitney ended the physical part of their relationship right after she signed her record deal because she was terrified of what the world would think. She spent her entire life torn between the woman she truly loved and the heterosexual superstar image she had to maintain. It is heartbreaking to think that all those years she was fighting with her husband, she might have just been missing her best friend. Her romantic history is a mix of public explosions and secret whispers. But speaking of secrets, our next star was involved in a hidden marriage that was illegal in every way possible. 3. Leah. Aaliyah was the princess of R&B. She had a cool style and a sweet voice that made everyone fall in love with her. But there is a dark cloud over her legacy that involves a man named R. Kelly. When Aaliyah was just a teenager, she started working with the producer on her debut album. The title of that album was Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Looking back, that title aged like spoiled milk. The thing nobody knew at the time was just how close they had gotten. Rumors started flying that they were more than just friends. Then a bombshell dropped. A magazine found a marriage certificate that showed Aaliyah and R. Kelly had gotten married in a secret ceremony in Illinois. Here is the shocking part. The certificate listed her age as 18, but in reality, she was only 15 years old. R. Kelly was 27. It was completely illegal. He had falsified the documents to make her seem older so he could marry her. It was a scandal that detonated in the industry. People could not believe that mentors and adults around her had let this happen. Aaliyah famously had the marriage annulled just months later, and she never spoke about it publicly again. She cut all ties with him. But the trauma of that relationship shadowed her short life. She tried to move on and found love later with Damon Dash, but that early exploitation was something she carried with her. When she passed away in a tragic plane crash at the age of 22, the illegal marriage became the darkest footnote in her story. It showed how the industry failed to protect a young girl from a predator. But while Aaliyah stayed silent about her trauma, our next star had her heartbreak broadcast to the entire world in a single night. 4. Rihanna went from being a sweet island girl from Barbados to a global billionaire, but nothing prepared the world for what happened on February 8, 2009. It was the night before the Grammys. Rihanna and her boyfriend, Chris Brown, were the golden couple of music. They were young, beautiful, and talented. But that night, everything changed. Photos surfaced on the internet of Rihanna with a bruised and battered face. It was horrific. Chris Brown had physically attacked her in a Lamborghini after an argument. Both of them canceled their performances, and the news spread like wildfire. The entire world was furious at Chris Brown. He was charged with felony assault. But then something happened that confused a lot of people. Rihanna initially took him back. It sparked a worldwide outrage. People wanted her to leave him immediately. She later explained that she felt protective of him because she knew about his own difficult childhood. She thought she could save him, but eventually she realized she had to draw the line. She left him for good and rebuilt her life. She dated the baseball star Matt Kemp for a while. Then she had a long on and off romance with the rapper Drake. They had hit songs together and undeniable chemistry, but they never quite made it work long term. She also dated a billionaire businessman from Saudi Arabia for a few years, living a quiet life in London. Finally, she found her match in the rapper A$AP Rocky. They started a family, and she seems happier than ever. But the scandal with Chris Brown defined a huge part of her career. It forced a conversation about domestic violence that we are still having today. Rihanna refused to be a victim, but her journey to find real love was a long and bumpy road. Speaking of bumpy roads, our next couple seemed perfect until a security camera caught a family fight that no one was supposed to see. 5. Beyoncé. Beyoncé is the most private superstar on earth. She controls her image perfectly. You never see her sweat. That is why the internet lost its collective mind in 2014. A surveillance video from an elevator at the Met Gala was leaked to the public. It showed her sister, Solange, physically attacking Beyoncé's husband, Jay-Z. She was kicking him and yelling at him while Beyoncé just stood there, completely still. It was the most shocking, silent movie anyone had ever seen. Everyone wanted to know what Jay-Z had done to make his sister-in-law so angry. The family released a vague statement saying they had worked through their issues. But the truth came out 2 years later when Beyoncé dropped her album Lemonade. It was a masterpiece, but it was also a confession. She called out a woman she named Becky with the good hair. She detailed infidelity and betrayal so vividly that her fans turned into detectives trying to figure out who Jay-Z had slept with. It was a rare glimpse behind the curtain. Jay-Z later confirmed everything on his own album. He apologized for cheating with multiple women and almost destroying their family. It turned out that the perfect couple had major cracks in their foundation. They managed to save their marriage and turn their near divorce into a billion-dollar brand. But the elevator incident remains that the moment the world realized that even Queen Bey has to deal with bedroom drama. Her story had a happy ending, but our next star had to pay a very high price for her freedom. 6. Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige is known as the Queen of hip-hop soul. Her music has always been about pain and overcoming struggle. But her real-life marriage was pure agony. For 11 years, she was married to her manager, Kendu Isaacs. She thought he was her king. She trusted him with her heart and her money. But when they filed for divorce in 2016, the ugly truth poured out. Mary accused him of cheating on her with her own protege, a young artist named Starshell. It was the ultimate betrayal. Not only was he stepping out on her, but he was doing it with someone she was trying to mentor. But it gets worse. Mary claimed that he blew through massive amounts of her money to fund his lifestyle with his mistress. We are talking about $420,000 a month. Despite earning hundreds of millions of dollars in her career, Mary said she was left practically broke because of his spending. She had to go on tour just to pay him spousal support. She later said the stress of the betrayal almost took her out. She turned that agony into the album Strength of a Woman. She came out of the divorce stronger and finally free. But the financial and emotional toll was massive. She learned the hard way that mixing business with pleasure can leave you bankrupt in more ways than one. While Mary was dealing with a manager husband, our next diva was dealing with a very confusing engagement to a rap mogul. 7. Toni Braxton. Toni Braxton has a deep, sultry voice that is made for sad love songs. Her own love life reads like a drama in 3 acts. First, she was secretly engaged to a man named Curtis Martin, who was related to the famous producer Babyface. That did not work out. Then came the public heartbreak with her husband Carrie Lewis from the band Mint Condition. They were married for over a decade and had 2 kids, but they eventually split up. It was sad, but it was normal celebrity stuff. However, the real jaw-dropper was her relationship in the late 2010s with the rap boss, Birdman. This was a pairing that nobody saw coming. Birdman is the head of Cash Money Records. He is known for face tattoos and a rough image. Toni is the elegant diva in evening gowns. They seemed like total opposites, yet they got engaged. There were rumors that they even got matching tattoos. But their relationship was a roller coaster of confusion. They broke up, got back together, and broke up again. They would post cryptic messages on social media that left fans scratching their heads. Toni later admitted that Birdman had stepped out on her and that she called off the wedding multiple times. To this day, people are still confused about what really happened between them. It was a weird chapter in R&B history, but confusion is a theme here. Our next artist found herself in a love triangle that made her look like the bad guy. 8. Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys burst onto the scene as a piano-playing prodigy. She was seen as the pure, soulful savior of music. She stayed out of the tabloids and focused on her craft. That is why it was such a shock when she started dating the producer Swizz Beatz. The problem was that Swizz was still legally married to a singer named Mashonda. And to make matters more complicated, Mashonda had just had a baby. The timeline was very murky. Mashonda wrote an open letter accusing Alicia of breaking up her happy home. She said Alicia attended her baby shower and then started dating her husband shortly after. Alicia stayed quiet for a long time. She eventually married Swizz, and they have a happy family now. She later defended herself by saying that she never intended to be the other woman and that Swizz and his wife were already separated when they got together, but the label of home wrecker stuck to her for years, especially in the community where loyalty is everything. It took a long time for the public to move past it. Now, all three of them co-parent peacefully, but the beginning of their romance was incredibly rocky. Speaking of rocky beginnings, our next star was the victim of a betrayal that she did not see coming for a decade. 9. Ashanti. Ashanti and the rapper Nelly were the it couple of the early 2000s. They were everywhere together. They had hit songs and looked great on every red carpet. They dated for 10 years. Everyone thought they would get married. Then, in 2013, they suddenly split up. For a long time, neither of them said much about why. Fans were devastated. It seemed like love was dead. Years later, Ashanti finally spilled the tea on a talk show. She revealed that Nelly had betrayed her trust. She said she was blindsided by what he did. While she did not go into graphic detail, it was clear that infidelity was the cause. She felt like she had wasted a decade of her life on a playboy. Ashanti spent years as the symbol of the good girl done wrong, but this story actually has a surprising twist. In 2023, after being apart for 10 years, they got back together. They realized they still loved each other. They recently had a baby and are acting like the past never happened. It is a rare second chance in an industry that usually destroys relationships for good. But while Ashanti got her happy ending, our next icon was dealing with a secret family that shattered her world. 10. Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill is a legend. Her album is one of the greatest ever made, but her disappearance from the spotlight is linked to a devastating heartbreak. She fell in love with Rohan Marley, who is the son of the reggae legend Bob Marley. They were together for years, and she had 5 children with him. She called him her husband, even though they were never legally married. She built her whole life around him. But then a shocking truth came to light. It turned out that Rohan was still legally married to another woman the entire time he was with Lauryn. He had a wife he married way back in college. Not only that, but there were reports that he was living a double life. While Lauryn was raising their children, the betrayal was eating away at her. When she finally split from him while she was pregnant with their 5th child, it sent her into a tailspin. The pain of that relationship fed into her reclusive years. She stopped releasing music and vanished from the public eye. She later said the pain made her stronger, but fans still mourn the superstar we lost to a broken heart. It is a reminder that even the strongest women can be brought down by a lying partner. Our next singer knows all about lying partners, but she also had a connection to a much more dangerous situation. 11. Monica. Monica has always been real. She does not sugarcoat anything. Her love life has been messy and very public. In the beginning of her career, she faced a tragedy when her boyfriend decided to leave this life in front of her. It was a horrific event that changed her forever. Later, she was linked to the rapper C Murder. She stood by him even when he was sent to prison for a life sentence. She still claims he is innocent and has fought for his release. It showed her loyalty, even in dark times. She thought she found her happily ever after when she married the NBA player Shannon Brown. They had a beautiful wedding and a child together, but the rumors started swirling again. People accused Shannon of cheating on her with multiple women. Monica tried to make it work, but eventually she filed for divorce. She is raw and honest about her pain. Her albums are basically diaries set to beats. She has dated other athletes since then, but she has yet to find the stability she deserves. She wears her heart on her sleeve, unlike our next star who kept a massive lie going for years. 12. Brandy. Brandy was the ultimate good girl. She was America's sweetheart. That is why her scandal was so confusing. In 2002, Brandy announced she was pregnant and that she had secretly married a producer named Robert Smith. She did a reality show about her pregnancy and talked about her husband all the time. Everyone was happy for her. But 2 years later, Robert Smith went on the radio and dropped a bomb. He said they were never married. He said the whole marriage was a fake story they cooked up to protect her image because she was pregnant out of wedlock. Brandy had to admit he was telling the truth. She had lied to Oprah, she had lied to her fans, and she had lied to the world. She said she felt ashamed and pressured to be a role model. It was a huge blow to her credibility. Her romantic life stayed quieter after that, especially after she was involved in a tragic car accident that resulted in another driver passing away. The guilt from that event haunted her for years. Brandy's story is a lesson on the pressure these women feel to be perfect, even when their lives are anything but. Our next star did not care about being perfect. She just wanted her man to be loyal. 13. Keyshia Cole. Keyshia Cole's entire life was reality TV. We watched her grow up, fight with her family, and fall in love. She married the NBA player Daniel Gibson, who everyone called Booby. They had a huge wedding and a son. It looked like she finally had the family she always wanted. But then the rumors started. There were whispers that he was cheating on her with dancers and people in the club scene. Keyshia was furious. She does not hold back. She blasted him on social media and filed for divorce. But she did not stop there. She later started dating a man named Nico Cayley, who was 22 years younger than her. People had a lot to say about the age gap. They had a child together, but that relationship also ended in a messy public split. Every breakup Keyshia goes through plays out on Instagram Live. She is the queen of airing her dirty laundry. She wants the world to know exactly who wronged her. It is exhausting, but you cannot look away. Just like you cannot look away from the confused love life of our next modern star. 14. SZA is the voice of every girl who stayed too long with a guy who was no good. Her album SOS was a massive hit because it was so relatable. But who hurt her? Well, she dated the rapper Drake very briefly back in 2009. Drake actually revealed this in a song years later, which surprised a lot of people. But the real tea was her long relationship with a producer who she says cheated on her the entire time. She poured all that frustration into her music. She sings about wanting to kill her ex, metaphorically of course, and dealing with the jealousy of seeing him with new women. She admitted that she got her body done because she wanted to look good for him, only to realize he was not worth it. SZA represents the modern dating struggle where lines are blurry and feelings get hurt in the digital age. Her honesty is her superpower. But honestly, the timeline of our next singer is a little suspicious. 15. Jhené Aiko. Jhené Aiko has a very calm and spiritual vibe. She seems like she floats above the drama. But her timeline raised a few eyebrows. She was secretly married to a producer named Dot D Genius. Nobody really knew about it until she filed for divorce. She cited irreconcilable differences. But here is the kicker. While she was technically still married, she went public with the rapper Big Sean. They formed a group called 2088, and their chemistry was electric. They started dating, got matching tattoos, and became a hip-hop power couple. But it wasn't smooth sailing. They broke up, Big Sean released songs about it, and then they got back together. They recently had a baby. But for a while, it looked like Jhené had moved on from her husband a little too quickly. Big Sean's ex, Ariana Grande, was watching from the sidelines. It was a tangled web of famous exes. Jhené stays zen, but her romantic history is more complicated than her peaceful music suggests. Complicated is also the perfect word for the next artist. 16. Kehlani Kalani has lived a dozen lives in just a few years. She was dating the NBA star Kyrie Irving, and they were a very popular couple. But then a photo appeared on the internet that changed everything. Her ex-boyfriend, a singer named Party Next Door, posted a picture of them in bed together holding hands. He captioned it in a way that implied she was cheating on Kyrie with him. The internet attacked Kehlani viciously. She was bullied relentlessly. The pressure was so bad that she ended up in the hospital because she tried to end her own life. It was a terrifying moment that showed how toxic social media can be. Kyrie later clarified that they had already broken up before the photo was taken, but the damage was done. Kehlani survived and came out stronger. She later came out as queer and has dated women publicly. She had a baby with her guitarist, who later came out as a trans man. She lives her life completely authentically now and shuts down rumors with pure, unbothered energy. She refused to let the scandal define her. Our final star also deals with toxic men, but she puts them on blast in her music. 17. Summer Walker. Summer Walker is known for her social anxiety, but she is not afraid to fight online. Her relationship with the producer London on Dayatrack was toxic from the jump. He produced her album, but their personal life was a disaster. They had a child together, but the pregnancy was full of public fights. Summer would go on Instagram and complain that he was leaving her alone. She fought with the mothers of his other children, calling them terrible names. It was a constant cycle of breaking up and making up. She accused him of being a narcissist and unsupportive. She documented every single tear on her albums Over It and Still Over It. She turned her pain into platinum plaques. She eventually left him and even got face tattoos of her new boyfriend's name, which shocked her fans again. Summer is proof that a chaotic love life can be great for business, even if it is hard on the heart. 1. Toni Braxton. Toni Braxton has one of the most recognizable voices on the planet. With monster hits like Unbreak My Heart and Breathe Again, she became a global superstar in the 1990s. She has sold over 70 million records worldwide and won 7 Grammy Awards. She should be living in a palace, one of the wealthiest women in music. But here's the kicker. Toni Braxton has filed for bankruptcy not once, but twice. The thing nobody tells you is that her first record deal was shockingly bad. Even after selling tens of millions of albums, she famously said she received a royalty check for less than $2,000. She was a superstar who was, in her words, po, not poor, but po, as in she couldn't afford the OR. Her spending habits didn't help. She loved high-end home goods and was featured in magazines for her lavish home decor. But she was spending money she simply did not have. Her first bankruptcy was in 1998, claiming debts up to $50 million. She lost almost everything, including her awards. She managed to climb back, but then she faced serious health problems that forced her to cancel a long-running Las Vegas show. This led to her second bankruptcy in 2010. To put it mildly, her life has been a financial roller coaster. At one point, she was reportedly living in a tiny apartment, a shocking fall for a global icon. She had to rebuild her life from the ground up, all while being one of the most famous singers alive. Toni's story is a stunning fall, a case of bad deals and big spending. But what if you were part of a huge, successful group and still ended up with nothing? The next star's story shows how fame doesn't always equal fortune. 2. Dawn Robinson. If you were around in the 90s, you know En Vogue. They were the funky divas with massive hits like Hold On and My Lovin', You're Never Gonna Get It. They were one of the biggest-selling girl groups of all time, with 20 million records sold. As one of the founding members, Dawn Robinson should have been set for life. But not all things are what they seem. Dawn has been very public about the financial nightmare she experienced. She has claimed that the group members saw almost none of the money from their massive success. Almost nobody realized at the time, but the group was falling apart over money. They had signed what is called a 360 deal, which meant the record label and producers got a cut of everything, not just albums, but touring and merchandise too. Dawn said they were treated like employees, not owners. What many overlooked is that Dawn's struggles continued for decades. In 2018, the singer made headlines when she was reportedly facing eviction from her home in New York. She was said to be living on just $2,000 a month, a shocking number for a woman who was part of a group that generated hundreds of millions. She has said she made more money at a regular 9-to-5 office job than she ever did as a member of En Vogue. It's a heartbreaking story of being a world-famous face with an empty bank account. Dawn's story is a sad case of the industry taking advantage, but our next star has all the Grammys and success. She just chooses to live like none of it ever happened. 3. Macy Gray. Macy Gray has a voice you can never forget. That raspy, unique sound on her hit I Try won her a Grammy and made her a household name. She's had a long, successful career in music and movies. She's worth millions of dollars, but you would never, ever know it by looking at her. The thing nobody tells you is that Macy Gray has zero interest in the glamorous life. She is famously, almost aggressively, down to earth. She has said in interviews that she doesn't like big, fancy mansions. She finds them empty and lonely. Instead, she lives in a modest, comfortable home in the Los Angeles area. But it's not the kind of palace you'd expect from a Grammy winner. What many don't expect is her love for thrift shopping. While other stars are dropping $50,000 on a new dress from a famous designer, Macy is happy to browse the racks at a secondhand store. She doesn't care about labels or bling. She's known for her eccentric personality, and her lifestyle matches. She just wants to be herself. She has been open about her past struggles and her money. She lives simply because it makes her happy, not because she has to. Macy Gray chooses a simple life, but what if the simple life chooses you? The next R&B legend went from the biggest stages in the world to sleeping on the cold, hard ground. 4. Charlie Wilson. You know him as Uncle Charlie. He's the legendary lead singer of the Gap Band, the funk group that gave us You Dropped a Bomb on Me and Outstanding. Today, he's a 13-time Grammy nominee and a beloved elder statesman of R&B. He seems like he's always been on top. But what's easy to miss is the dark period in his life. In the mid-90s, Charlie Wilson lost everything. After years of success, his life was derailed by serious substance issues. He went from selling out arenas to having absolutely nothing. His brothers in the band had to move on without him, and he was alone. Here is the truly shocking part. For 2 years, from 1993 to 1995, Charlie Wilson was homeless. He lived on the streets of Hollywood. He was sleeping in alleys and under bridges. He weighed only 130 pounds. He was a ghost, a man who had it all and was now invisible. He eventually got help from a cousin who was a social worker. She took him to a rehab program. He slowly, painfully rebuilt his life. His comeback is one of the most amazing in music history, but he has never forgotten those 2 years. He knows what it's like to have nothing. Today, he lives humbly, knowing what's really important. He's not focused on mansions and fancy cars. He's focused on his health and his music. Charlie Wilson had to climb back from the absolute bottom, but our next star had to deal with a different kind of problem: mountains of debt, even while she was still on top. 5. Mary J. Blige. She is the undisputed queen of hip-hop soul. Mary J. Blige has been a music icon for 3 decades. She has 9 Grammy Awards, multiple platinum albums, and even Oscar nominations for her acting. She is royalty. She should be living in a castle. But the truth is, Mary's life has been full of financial struggles, even at the height of her fame. What many overlooked is that she's been hit with massive tax bills. In 2013, she was in debt for over $3.4 million to the IRS. She also had millions in debt to the state of New Jersey. She was making money, but she said she didn't have the right people managing it. And then things got even harder. She went through a very public and messy divorce in 2017. A judge ordered her to pay her ex-husband $30,000 a month in temporary spousal support. Mary has been very open about her money troubles, saying the divorce and her debts were crushing her. She said she had more public than private money. She grew up in the projects, and she knows what it's like to have nothing. She's even mentioned that she still loves simple foods like ramen noodles, a reminder of her roots. She's a queen, but she's had to fight for her financial survival. Mary J. Blige's struggles were public and painful. But our next artist is so private, he's almost a ghost. He has the money, but he lives like a regular New Yorker, not a superstar. 6. Maxwell. Maxwell is one of the fathers of the neo-soul movement. His 1996 album, Maxwell's Urban Hang Suite, is a certified classic. He's a multiple Grammy winner known for his smooth voice and his mysterious image. He's also known for taking long breaks, sometimes disappearing for years between albums. He once took an 8-year break. The thing nobody tells you is that his private life is just as low-key as his career path. He is the opposite of flashy. You will not see Maxwell on social media showing off stacks of cash or a garage full of luxury cars. He is a true New Yorker. He lives in a nice but relatively modest apartment in the city. He doesn't roll with a big entourage. What's easy to miss is that he values his privacy above all else. He's been known to ride his bicycle around the city to get to the studio. Imagine that, a multi-platinum star biking through New York traffic. He's more interested in art and culture than in designer labels. He has all the money and fame he could ever want, but he chooses to live like a normal private citizen. He's an artist, not a brand, and his simple lifestyle proves it. Maxwell uses his bike to get around the city. Our next star is even more grounded. He's not in New York. He's on a 30-acre farm, living off the land. 7. Anthony Hamilton. Anthony Hamilton's voice is pure soul. It's raw, emotional, and sounds like it's from another time. He's a Grammy winner with hits like Charlene and Comin' From Where I'm From. He's a superstar in the world of R&B, and he has collaborated with everyone from Al Green to Tupac. But you'll never guess where he lives. He's not in a mansion in Atlanta or a penthouse in New York. Anthony Hamilton lives on a 30-acre farm in North Carolina. He didn't just move there. He was born and raised in Charlotte, and he never wanted to leave. Here's the wow factor. He truly lives the farm life. He has said in interviews that he hunts for his own food. He raises animals. He chops wood. He has a garden. He is completely disconnected from the Hollywood lifestyle. He doesn't even have a big security team. He's just a regular guy from North Carolina who happens to have a world-famous voice. He's living proof that you can be a star without losing your roots, and that you don't need a high-rise to feel on top of the world. Anthony Hamilton lives the country life in North Carolina. Our next two stars are also all about their hometown, choosing to live in the same city they grew up in, a city famous for its cheesesteaks and its soul music. 8. Musiq Soulchild. Musiq Soulchild hit the scene in 2000 and helped define the sound of neo-soul. With hits like Just Friends, Sunny, and Love, he became a voice for a new generation. He's a 13-time Grammy nominee. But what's easy to miss is that he never let the fame change him. He is a Philly-born and raised guy, through and through. While other stars were buying mansions in Calabasas, Musiq Soulchild stayed true to his roots. He famously still lives in a simple row house in Philadelphia. He's not hiding, he just likes his neighborhood. He has said he loves his city and the people there keep him humble. And here's the part that will shock you. He's a huge fan of public transportation. That's right, a multi-platinum selling artist who will take the bus or the subway. He has said that he doesn't like the attention of a flashy car. He'd rather just be a normal person. His life is about his music and his community, not about the trappings of fame. Musiq Soulchild is a Philly legend, and he's not the only R&B star who stayed true to that city, as our next artist proves. 9. Jill Scott. Jill Scott is another icon from Philadelphia. She's a singer, songwriter, actress, and poet. She's a 3-time Grammy winner, and her debut album, Who is Jill Scott, is a soul classic. She is beloved all over the world. Like music, Jill never felt the need to run off to Hollywood. She lives in a modest home in a quiet suburb of Philadelphia. She is all about living a simple, healthy, and self-sufficient life. She came from a humble background and has never forgotten it. What many don't expect is that she is an avid tea gardener. She grows her own vegetables, like tomatoes and greens, in her backyard. She's not doing it to save money. She's doing it because she wants to know where her food comes from. She's more interested in doing yoga and drinking herbal tea than in going to fancy clubs or spas. She has all the money in the world, but she chooses a life that is grounded, simple, and real. Jill Scott grows her own food. Our next star is also about self-sufficiency, but she takes it to another level. She gets her wardrobe from secondhand stores. 10. Ledisi Ledisi is a powerhouse vocalist. She's a 13-time Grammy nominee and a winner for Best Traditional R&B Performance. She's performed for the President and First Lady. She is one of the most respected singers in the business. But when you see her, she's not always dripping in designer labels. What many overlooked is that Ledisi is a proud thrift shopper. She has been very open about her love for finding unique clothes at thrift stores and vintage shops. She lives in a simple home in Oakland, California, her hometown. She's not trying to be a diva. She's just a regular person who loves to sing. She once said in an interview that she was the girl next door if the girl next door could sing. Her lifestyle proves it. She finds joy in simplicity, and she's not afraid to wear a second-hand outfit, even if she is a Grammy-winning star. She's more focused on her voice than on her wardrobe. Ledisi loves thrift shopping. Our next artist takes simplicity even further, rejecting the entire look of a star, right down to her face. 11. India. India Ori burst onto the scene with her song Video and her album Acoustic Soul. Her message was simple: I am not my hair, I am not this skin. She was all about self-love and rejecting the world's standards of beauty. And here's the thing, she really lives it. She is not just singing songs about it, it's her entire philosophy. She's a multiple Grammy winner, but she lives a very modest life in Atlanta. She has told stories about how the music industry tried to change her, to make her look more pop, and she refused. She is known for her simple, natural lifestyle. She often appears with no makeup on. She's not interested in red carpets or designer gowns. She's more interested in herbal teas, meditation, and her own well-being. She has built her life around peace and simplicity, far away from the pressures of the music industry. She lives like a spiritual guru, not a pop star. She found her peace by rejecting the very things most stars chase. India. Ari lives a holistic, simple life, but our next star is the queen of this lifestyle. She's not just living simple, she's practically living off the land. 12. Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu is not just a singer, she's a whole vibe. She is the godmother of neo-soul, an icon of art and fashion. She's also known for being one of the most down-to-earth people in music. She lives in her hometown of Dallas, Texas. But she's not in a high-rise. She lives in a unique, eco-friendly home. She is all about natural living. Here's the wow factor. She's been known to forage for her own food. She will go out and find wild plants and herbs. She rejects luxury and materialism. She is also a certified doula, which means she helps women give birth. She has helped deliver over 40 babies. Imagine that, a music legend helping to bring new life into the world as a side job. She's more of a spiritual guide than a pop star. She has all the money she needs, but her values are completely different. She lives a life that is truly her own, and it looks nothing like what you'd expect from a superstar. Erykah Badu is all about natural living. Our next star also retreated from the spotlight to a quiet, simple life, but he did it by disappearing for over a decade. 13. D'Angelo. D'Angelo is a musical genius. His albums Brown Sugar and Voodoo are considered two of the greatest R&B albums of all time. After the Voodoo album and tour, he was the biggest male R&B star on the planet. And then, he was gone. He vanished. For 14 years. What many don't expect is that D'Angelo couldn't handle the pressure of fame. He hated being seen as a pinup and a star, especially that after his famous video for Untitled, How Does It Feel? He felt like a product, not a musician, so he just walked away from it all. He didn't just stop making music, he went into hiding. He moved back to his home state of Virginia. He lived on a quiet farm, completely off the grid. He wasn't living in poverty, but he was living like a hermit. He rejected all the luxury and fame that was offered to him. He spent his days riding horses and getting back to basics. It was a 14-year-long search for simplicity, an escape from the bling lifestyle he never wanted. D'Angelo chose to disappear, but our next star never left. He just never flashed his money, choosing a simple condo over a Hollywood palace. 14. Tevin Campbell. In the early 90s, Tevin Campbell was a massive star. He was a child prodigy discovered by Quincy Jones. He had huge hits like Can We Talk and I'm Ready. He was a teen heartthrob with a 5-octave vocal range. But what happens when that kind of massive early fame fades? For Tevin, it meant finding a new normal life. After a string of hits, he stepped away from the music industry for many years. He wanted to find out who he was without the spotlight. Today, he doesn't live like the superstar he once was. He lives in a modest condo in Los Angeles. He's not at the big parties or in the fancy clubs. He's been known to enjoy simple things, like gardening. He has re-emerged in recent years, but he's not chasing the spotlight. He's happy living a quiet, simple, and private life, far from the pressures he faced as a kid. He found happiness in normalcy, not in fame. Tevin Campbell enjoys the quiet life in his condo. Our next star is also known for his hands-on, simple approach, but with a focus on self-sufficiency. 15. Brian McKnight. Brian McKnight is the king of the R&B ballad. With 17 albums and 16 Grammy nominations, he is one of the most consistent hitmakers of his generation. Back at One is a wedding staple. He's a legend. But the thing nobody tells you is that he's a very self-sufficient musician. He's not the type to just throw money at a huge team of producers. He's a multi-instrumentalist. He can play piano, guitar, bass, drums, and more. This do-it-yourself spirit extends to his life. He's a working musician despite his fame. He's more focused on the craft than the lifestyle. He has a beautiful home, but he's not known for the kind of over-the-top, flashy spending you see from other stars. He's a craftsman. He doesn't need a huge entourage or a 30-room mansion. He's focused on his work and his family, living a comfortable but not extravagant life. Brian McKnight is a self-sufficient craftsman. Our next star is all about being a good neighbor, keeping it simple in his Atlanta community. 16. Johnny Gill. Johnny Gill has a voice that is pure power. He was a solo star, then a member of the supergroup New Edition, and then a solo star again. He also had hits with the trio LSG. The man has been on the charts for decades. With all that success, he could live in a giant, gated fortress. But that's not his style. Johnny Gill lives in a nice but relatively normal townhouse in Atlanta. He's not hiding from the world. Here's the part that shows his simple life. He's a man of the people. He's known for being a great neighbor. He loves to host barbecues and have friends over. He's not shutting himself off from the world. He's living a comfortable, suburban life. He's the kind of guy who will chat with you over the fence. He's a superstar who still values community and a good home-cooked meal. Johnny Gill is a friendly neighbor. Our next R&B star is also all about his community, but he's giving back his time in a very personal way. 17. Keith Sweat. Keith Sweat basically invented the new jack swing sound. I Want Her, Shamour Her, and Make You Sweat are R&B classics. He's a producer, a songwriter, and a radio host. He's been a dominant force in R&B for more than 30 years. He's another star who could be living a wild, over-the-top life. Instead, he lives a quiet life in a suburb of New Jersey. But here is the real kicker. What does he do in his spare time? He's not just sitting around counting his money. Keith Sweat has spent years as a volunteer, coaching kids basketball. He's not doing it for pay or for publicity. He's doing it because he loves the game, and he loves helping his community. He's just Coach Keith to those kids, not a multi-platinum music legend. It's a way for him to stay grounded and give back. Keith Sweat is a volunteer coach. Our next star also keeps a low profile, so low you might see him on your morning commute. 18. Aaron Hall. Aaron Hall was the powerful lead singer of Guy, the group that, along with Teddy Riley, defined New Jack Swing. Their music was the sound of the late 80s and early 90s. Aaron had a very tough, flashy, and aggressive image. But what's easy to miss is that the image was just that, an image. Today, the 90s legend lives a very different life. He is not living in a giant mansion guarded by gates. He lives in a simple walk-up apartment in New York City. A walk-up means no elevator. And here is the most surprising part. He is a regular subway rider. He's been spotted by fans riding the train, incognito, with his headphones on, just like millions of other New Yorkers. The beginning of New Jack Swing swiping a Metro card. It's the perfect example of a star living like a regular person, a far cry from the flashy image he sold on stage. Aaron Hall blends in with the New York crowd. Our final star blends in with his Atlanta neighbors, but he's not just living simple, he's actively giving back. 19. Case. In the mid-90s, the R&B singer Case was all over the radio. He had massive hits like Touch Me, Tease Me, and Happily Ever After. He was one of the signature voices of that era of R&B. But like many stars, he eventually stepped away from the non-stop pressure of the industry. He moved from New York down to Atlanta, searching for a quieter and more meaningful life. He lives in a modest home and keeps a very low profile, but what many don't expect is how he spends his time. He's not just relaxing. He is very active in his community. He has been known to volunteer at local shelters, helping those who have far less than he does. He's not just living like he's poor, he's spending his time helping people who truly are. It's a full-circle story of humility from a star who found that giving back was more important than the spotlight. Our final star had it all, but she chose to walk away, leading to a simple life that was forced on her by her own choices. 20. Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill is a music legend. Her album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, is a masterpiece. It won 5 Grammy Awards and made her the biggest star in the world. She had it all: fame, critical acclaim, and a huge fortune. And then she walked away. She famously dropped out of the public eye, rejecting the fame and the industry she felt was toxic. But her story gets more complicated. What many overlooked is that she also stopped paying her taxes. In 2013, Lauryn Hill was sentenced to 3 months in prison for failing to pay taxes on over $1.8 million in earnings. She said she had left the economic system in protest. After her release, she was forced to live a much simpler life. She moved out of her large mansion and into more modest housing. She's been known to live a nomadic lifestyle, often renting instead of owning. She is a perfect example of someone who had it all, rejected it, and then found herself in a financial crisis that forced an even simpler and much harder way of life. Number 1. Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill was one of the biggest stars in the music world. She started in the group The Fugees, and her voice, style, and message quickly made her stand out. In 1998, she released her solo album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. The album was a huge success. It won 5 Grammy Awards and sold millions of copies around the world. Fans and critics loved it. People said she had changed R&B forever. But just when everyone expected more music, Lauryn Hill disappeared. She didn't go on big tours. She stopped doing interviews. She didn't release another full studio album. People were shocked and confused. Later, Lauryn said the music industry was not what people thought. She called it toxic, fake, and controlling. She didn't like how it treated artists. She said it tried to shape her into someone she was not. She felt like she had to step away to protect her true self. Lauryn chose her freedom over fame. She focused on her family and her personal growth. She became very private and only made music on her own terms. She would sometimes perform at small shows, but she never returned to the spotlight in the same way. Many people still hope she will release another big album, but Lauryn seems happy with her choice. She said she wants to live in truth and not follow what the industry demands. Even though she walked away, her music and message still inspire people today. Lauryn Hill may have left fame behind, but she never lost her power. Number 2. D'Angelo. D'Angelo was known for his smooth voice, deep lyrics, and soulful music. In the 1990s, he became a major R&B star with albums like Brown Sugar and Voodoo. His hit song Untitled, How Does It Feel, became a cultural moment. The music video showed him shirtless, and many fans focused on his looks instead of his music. He started to feel uncomfortable. Behind the scenes, D'Angelo was struggling. Fame was not easy for him. He didn't like being treated like a sex symbol. He wanted people to listen to his music, not just talk about his appearance. The pressure made him feel lost. After releasing Voodoo in 2000, D'Angelo slowly disappeared from the public eye. He stopped performing, didn't release new music, and rarely gave interviews. People didn't know what had happened to him. Later, it was revealed that he was battling alcohol problems, depression, and personal pain. The music industry was too much for him at that time. Instead of pushing forward, D'Angelo chose to walk away. He stayed out of the spotlight for over a decade. During that time, he focused on healing and getting better. He worked quietly on music, but only when he felt ready. In 2014, he surprised everyone by releasing Black Messiah, an album with deep messages and powerful sound. It reminded people why he was so special. But even after that, he didn't chase fame. He did a few shows and stayed mostly private. Number 3. Tina Campbell. Tina Campbell was one half of the award-winning gospel and R&B duo Mary Mary, along with her sister Erica. Together, they made hit songs like Shackles, Praise You, that mixed faith and modern beats. Tina's strong voice and bold personality made her a fan favorite. She was a big part of gospel music's rise in pop culture. But behind the success, Tina was going through deep personal struggles. Her marriage faced serious problems after she found out her husband had cheated on her many times. This caused her great emotional pain. At the same time, being in the public eye made it hard to heal. She felt like her private life was constantly under a microscope. Instead of hiding her struggles, Tina opened up to the world. She spoke honestly about her pain, her anger, and her choice to forgive. But the pressure of fame, touring, and always being strong became too much. She realized she needed to step away and focus on her healing, her family, and her faith. Tina took a break from music and the spotlight. She devoted time to working on her marriage, raising her children, and deepening her relationship with God. She even wrote a book about her journey and released solo music at her own pace. Unlike her busy days with Mary Mary, she now chooses peace over pressure. Up next is not only a singer, but also an actor. Number 4. Tyrese Gibson. Tyrese Gibson first became famous in the late 1990s with his smooth R&B voice and hit songs like Sweet Lady and Lately. He also found success as an actor, starring in blockbuster movies like Too Fast, Too Furious, Transformers, and the Fast and Furious series. He was one of the few stars who could shine in both music and film at the same time. But behind the scenes, Tyrese was dealing with a lot of personal pain. He went through a very messy and public divorce, followed by a long and emotional custody battle over his daughter. He shared some of his breakdowns on social media, including a now viral video where he cried and shouted, "What more do you want from me?" That moment showed how deeply the pressure of fame and family struggles had affected him. Tyrese said the entertainment industry didn't care about his well-being. He felt misunderstood, used, and broken down by the system. At one point, he completely stepped away from making music and focused on healing his mind and heart. He also took a break from acting to protect his peace. Instead of chasing the spotlight, Tyrese started writing, speaking out about mental health, and spending more time with his family. He returned to music years later, but on his own terms. His later work was more personal and emotional, not just for the charts. Number 5. Tiana Watkins. T-Boz, whose real name is Tiana Watkins, was one of the lead singers of the legendary R&B group TLC. Along with Left Eye and Chili, she helped create hits like No Scrubs, Waterfalls, and Creep. TLC wasn't just about music. They spoke out about real-life issues like self-respect, love, and disease. Their songs made a huge impact around the world. T-Boz had a unique voice and a strong presence, but behind the scenes, she was fighting a silent battle. Since birth, she has lived with sickle cell anemia, a painful and serious blood disorder. The disease often made her weak and put her in the hospital. Doctors once told her she wouldn't live past 30, but T-Boz proved them wrong. Even with her health issues, T-Boz kept working and performing. But after the tragic death of her bandmate Left Eye in 2002, everything changed. The group took a long break, and T-Boz slowly stepped away from the spotlight. She later said that the music industry felt cold and stressful. Her body and heart needed rest. She also faced financial problems and even filed for bankruptcy. On top of that, she went through a divorce and became a single mom. T-Boz decided her daughter and her health had to come first. Fame wasn't worth risking her life or missing moments with her child. T-Boz didn't give up music completely. She released solo projects and TLC made a comeback years later, but she stayed in control. She made it clear. Her peace and family matter more than awards and fame. Next celebrity on our list, number 6, Maxwell. Maxwell was one of the smoothest voices in R&B. His songs like Ascension, Don't Ever Wonder, and Pretty Wings were loved by fans all over the world. He brought a soft, emotional sound that felt real and deep. People expected him to keep rising, but then something strange happened. He disappeared. After the release of his second album, Maxwell stepped away from music. For almost 8 years, he was silent. There were no new songs, no concerts, and no interviews. Many people wondered what had happened to him. Some thought he had quit for good, but the truth was more personal. Maxwell later shared that he needed a break from fame. He said the music industry moved too fast. He felt like he was losing touch with himself. The pressure to keep performing, recording, and staying in the spotlight became too much. He didn't want to just make music to meet deadlines or sell records. He wanted his music to come from the heart. So he made a bold choice. He walked away from the spotlight to find peace and grow as a person. He spent time thinking about who he was and what kind of music he truly wanted to make. It wasn't about money or fame anymore, it was about meaning. When he returned, his music had even more depth. Maxwell reminded everyone that sometimes the best thing you can do is step back, even if the whole world is watching. He didn't leave because he had to. He left because he chose to, and that made his comeback even stronger. Up next was a Grammy Award winner. No other person but number 7, India.Arie. India.Arie was one of the most powerful voices in R&B. She had hit songs, Grammy Awards, and a loyal fan base. Her music was full of love, truth, and strength. But behind the scenes, she was struggling. Even though she was successful, the music industry made her feel like she wasn't good enough. People told her she needed to lose weight. They said she wasn't sexy enough to be a star. India didn't want to change who she was just to fit in. The pressure became too much. She said the industry was fake. It wanted her to sell an image, not be herself. She felt like she had to wear tight clothes and look a certain way just to get played on the radio. That wasn't the kind of artist she wanted to be. So, India.Arie made a bold choice. She walked away from fame. She stepped back from the spotlight to focus on her soul. She turned to spirituality, meditation, and healing. She wanted to live with peace and purpose, not pressure and pain. She stopped trying to please the industry and started doing what felt right to her. India didn't disappear forever. She still makes music sometimes, but now it's on her terms. She doesn't chase fame. She chases truth. Number 8, Cody Chesnu TT. Cody Chesnu TT had something special. His voice was unique, his music was bold, and people quickly noticed him. In 2002, he released his first album called The Headphone Masterpiece. It was raw, honest, and different from anything else in R&B and rock at the time. Fans and critics loved it. He even got the attention of big names like The Roots, who covered his song The Seed and brought him into the spotlight. Suddenly, big record labels wanted him. There were offers for major deals, tours, and fame. But instead of jumping in, Cody stepped back. He didn't like how the industry worked. He felt it was fake, more about image and money than real music. He didn't want to change who he was just to fit someone else's idea of a star. So he walked away from the big offers. He left the spotlight and went back to a quiet life. Cody became a father and decided to focus on raising his kids. He also took time to reconnect with himself, his values, and his faith. Music was still a part of his life, but on his terms. He released songs when he felt ready, not when someone told him to. Number 9. Amel Larrieux. Amel Larrieux was the voice behind the hit 1995 song Tell Me as one half of the R&B duo Groove Theory. The group became popular fast. Their sound was smooth, cool, and different. Many people expected them to become a huge success. But just as the spotlight got brighter, Amel made a surprising choice. She left the group. It wasn't because of a big scandal. Amel simply didn't feel comfortable with the fast-paced music industry. The fame, pressure, and attention didn't match who she was inside. She was an artist who cared deeply about the meaning behind her music. She didn't want to be turned into a product or forced into a box. After leaving Groove Theory, she didn't chase more fame. Instead, she stepped away from the spotlight and focused on building her path. She started releasing music as a solo artist independently, without a major label controlling her. Her songs stayed true to her style. They were soulful, poetic, and full of emotion. Amel didn't care about radio hits or chart numbers. She cared about creating music that felt honest. She focused on her family, her creative freedom, and her peace of mind. While she may not be a household name like Beyoncé or Alicia Keys, Amel Larrieux earned something even more powerful: artistic freedom. She walked away from fame and chose to live a quiet, meaningful life doing what she loves. Up next was well known for his hit song, Wishing Well. Number 10. Terence Trent D'Arby, now Sananda Maitreya. In the late 1980s, Terence Trent D'Arby seemed unstoppable. His debut album, Introducing the Hardline, according to Terence Trent D'Arby, sold millions of copies and included the hit song, Wishing Well. He had a unique voice, a strong stage presence, and was often compared to legends like Prince and James Brown. But even as he climbed the charts, Terence felt trapped. Behind the scenes, he struggled with the pressure of fame. He didn't like how the music industry tried to shape his image and control his career. The fame that others dreamed of made him feel lost and unhappy. Instead of playing along, Terence made a bold choice. He walked away. In 2001, he announced that Terence Trent D'Arby was dead. He said the name no longer fit who he was. He changed his name to Sananda Maitreya, saying it was a spiritual rebirth. The name change shocked fans, but for him, it was the start of a new life. Sananda moved to Europe and settled in Italy. Far from the pressure of the American music industry, he began releasing music independently. He recorded albums in his home studio and shared them online with loyal fans. He didn't want to be a star anymore. He just wanted to make music the way he felt it. Though he left the spotlight, Sananda Maitreya never stopped creating. He still writes, sings, and performs, but on his own terms. He found peace in being true to himself, even if it meant walking away from the fame that once made him famous. Number 11. Tweet. Tweet was a rising R&B star in the early 2000s. Her song, Oops Oh My, became a huge hit. It was produced by Timbaland and featured Missy Elliott. The song played everywhere on the radio, on music channels, and in clubs. People loved her soft voice and her unique style. Tweet quickly became one of the most talked about new artists. But while everything looked great on the outside, Tweet was struggling behind the scenes. The music industry was not easy. She felt a lot of pressure to look and act a certain way. She had to deal with image issues, record label demands, and constant stress. It all became too much. Tweet began to suffer from depression. She also had health problems and started to feel lost. She said that even though she was famous, she didn't feel happy. The fame, attention, and fast lifestyle weren't good for her mental health. She needed a break. So instead of chasing more hit songs or fame, Tweet made a big decision. She stepped away from the spotlight. She took time to focus on herself and her healing. During this time, she also reconnected with her faith. She found strength in her relationship with God and started to rebuild her life more healthily. Tweet didn't disappear forever. She still makes music sometimes, but now she does it on her own terms. She sings when she feels ready, not because she has to. Walking away from fame helped her find peace, health, and faith. She proved that sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is walk away to find themselves again. Number 12. Donald Jones. Donald Jones was one of the smoothest voices in R&B during the late 90s and early 2000s. His songs like Where I Wanna Be and You Know What's Up were played everywhere. Fans loved his soulful style and honest lyrics about love, heartbreak, and real life. He had fame, money, and success, but something was wrong behind the scenes. As his career grew, Donell started to struggle with addiction. The pressure of the music business and the fast-paced lifestyle were too much. He was drinking heavily and using substances to cope. Even though he looked fine on stage, inside he was falling apart. He felt like he was losing control of his life. Donell knew he had to make a choice: keep chasing fame or save himself. So he stepped away from the spotlight. He stopped releasing music for a while and focused on getting sober. He also wanted to be a better father and reconnect with his family. He said he missed important moments in their lives while he was caught up in the industry. In later interviews, Donell said walking away was hard but necessary. He needed time to heal, reflect, and find peace. He got clean, found his faith again, and returned to music only when he felt ready. Looking back, he calls it the best decision he ever made. Donald Jones didn't quit music forever. He just learned how to live without letting fame control him. Number 13. Sunshine Anderson. Sunshine Anderson became famous with her song, Heard It All Before. The song was a big hit and many people loved it. It played a lot on the radio, and Sunshine was suddenly a well-known R&B singer. People thought she would keep making more hit songs and become even bigger. But things didn't go as expected. After her initial success, Sunshine Anderson's time in the spotlight was very short. She did not continue chasing fame or trying to stay in the music business at the same fast pace. Instead, she made a choice that surprised many people. She decided to step away from the music world and the bright lights of fame. One big reason for this change was her daughter. Sunshine wanted to focus on being a good mother and spending time with her family. She wanted to be there for her daughter and watch her grow up. Being a mom became much more important to Sunshine than being famous. Also, Sunshine turned to her faith. She found comfort and strength in her beliefs, and this helped her make peace with leaving the music industry behind. Her faith gave her a new sense of purpose and happiness outside of the fame she once had. Besides family and faith, Sunshine also started working in areas outside of music. She tried new things and explored life beyond being a singer. This helped her grow as a person and find new ways to be happy. For Sunshine Anderson, walking away from fame was not about giving up or losing. It was about growing up and making choices that were right for her life. She chose a different path, one that brought her peace and joy, even if it meant leaving the spotlight behind. Next celebrity on our list, her music career changed when she sang at the presidential inauguration in January 2017. Number 14. Chrisette Michele. Chrisette Michele was a very successful R&B singer. She had won Grammy Awards and was loved by many fans. Her music touched people, and she was known for her beautiful voice and meaningful songs. Everything seemed to be going well for her career. But everything changed when Chrisette decided to sing at Donald Trump's presidential inauguration in January 2017. This event was very controversial and divided many people. Some fans and others in the music industry strongly disagreed with her choice to perform there. They felt it was a political statement they did not support. After the inauguration, Chrisette Michele faced a huge backlash. Many people criticized her openly on social media and in the news. The negative attention was very intense. Her career began to fall apart very quickly. Shows were canceled, and she lost a lot of support from fans and fellow artists. It felt like everything she had built was crashing down. Instead of trying to fight the backlash or explain her decision, Chrisette chose to disappear from the public eye. She stepped away from the music business and stopped making new music for a while. During this time, she struggled with her mental health. The pressure and criticism affected her deeply. She experienced depression and even had thoughts of suicide. But Chrisette did not give up. Over time, she decided to walk away from fame and the harsh judgment that came with it. She wanted to heal and rebuild her life in a quieter way. She focused on finding peace and happiness away from the spotlight. Today, Chrisette Michele is working on her own path, stronger and more at peace with herself than before. Up next, they were well known for mixing real-life struggles with catchy R&B and hip-hop beats. Number 15. Claudette Ortiz. Claudette Ortiz was the female singer in the early 2000s group City High. Their hit song, What Would You Do, made her voice instantly recognizable. The group was known for mixing real-life struggles with catchy R&B and hip-hop beats. Claudette stood out because of her smooth voice and natural beauty. Many people thought she was about to become a huge solo star, but behind the scenes, things were not as perfect as they seemed. Claudette had to deal with a lot of stress. She was in a group with two men she had dated first with Robbie Pardlow, then later with Ryan Toby. That caused a lot of personal tension. On top of that, the group had issues with bad contracts and poor management. Claudette didn't feel like she had control over her career. As time went on, her personal life became more difficult. She became a single mother and had to take care of her children without much support. Instead of chasing fame, Claudette decided to step away from the music industry. She put her focus on raising her kids and finding peace. Later, she appeared on the reality show R&B Divas, Los Angeles, which gave fans a chance to see what she had been through. She was honest about her struggles and said that fame didn't bring her happiness. Today, Claudette Ortiz only sings when she truly wants to. She makes music on her own terms, not because she needs to be famous. For her, leaving the spotlight was not failure, it was freedom. Number 16. Bilal. Bilal was one of the most talented singers in neo-soul. His voice was smooth, emotional, and full of power. In 2001, he released his debut album, Firstborn Second. The album got great reviews, and people in the music world saw him as the next big thing. He worked with stars like Erykah Badu, Common, and The Roots. Everyone thought Bilal would become a major R&B star. But then something happened. Bilal recorded his second album, Love for Sale, in 2006. It was different. It was bold. It didn't sound like the usual radio hits. The record label didn't like it. They thought it was too risky, so they shelved it. That means they refused to release it. The album leaked online and fans loved it, but it never got an official release. This crushed Bilal's chances at mainstream success. Instead of chasing chart hits, he stepped back. He kept making music, but on his own terms. He released albums like Airtight's Revenge and In Another Life, but they didn't get radio play. He didn't tour much or do big media events. Bilal chose art over fame. He didn't want to be shaped by the music industry. He wanted to stay true to himself. Even though he didn't become a household name, real fans still admire him. He's known for his creativity, passion, and honesty. Bilal walked away from the spotlight, but he never stopped singing from the soul. Number 17. Lalah Hathaway. Lalah Hathaway was born into music royalty. Her father was Donny Hathaway, one of the most respected soul singers of all time. From a young age, people expected big things from her. She had a strong, soulful voice and clear talent. But unlike many artists, Lalah didn't chase fame or chart-topping hits. Instead of rushing into the spotlight, she took her time. She studied music at Berklee College of Music and worked hard to understand her craft. When she began releasing her own songs, critics praised her voice. But she didn't care about becoming a pop star. She focused on quality, not fame. Lalah built a quiet but steady career. She performed live, often on smaller stages, and connected with fans through real music. She avoided drama and stayed away from the tabloids. She never needed scandals or headlines to get attention. Her goal was to be true to herself and her sound. Over the years, she won multiple Grammy Awards not for flashy hits, but for powerful vocals and true musicianship. She sang backup for big artists, collaborated with jazz legends, and kept her music honest. Lalah didn't want to be a product. She wanted to be an artist. Number 18. Rez. Rez was a rising star in the early 2000s. Her debut album, How I Do, came out in 2001 and blended rock, soul, hip-hop, and R&B in a way that felt fresh and original. Critics loved it. People praised her voice, her songwriting, and her unique style. It wasn't like anything else on the radio. But even though the music was strong, the label didn't give it enough support. The business side wasn't ready for someone like her. She didn't fit into a neat box. She wasn't a typical R&B singer, and she wasn't fully rock either. Because of this, the label didn't know how to market her, and her album didn't get the push it needed. Rez felt frustrated. She had talent, she had something to say, but the industry didn't seem to care. After facing label issues, she faded from the mainstream spotlight. But she didn't stop making music. She kept creating on her own, releasing songs independently and working with other artists. She even toured with bands and performed live, keeping her connection with fans. Though fame walked away, her passion stayed strong. Rez chose freedom over fame. She didn't want to be controlled or forced into a certain image. She stayed true to herself, even if it meant fewer headlines or chart hits. Today, Rez is still seen as a powerful voice in music. She may not be in the mainstream anymore, but her story is one of strength, independence, and staying true to her art. Number 19. Van Hunt. Van Hunt is a very talented singer and songwriter. He even won a Grammy Award for his music. People liked his unique sound, which mixed different styles like soul, rock, and R&B. His first album was successful, and many thought he would become a big star. But Van Hunt did not want to follow the usual path in the music industry. He did not like how the business worked. He wanted to make music his way, not just what the record labels told him to do. This caused problems when he started working on his second album. His second album was finished, but the record company decided not to release it. This meant his music would not reach many people. Instead of fighting the company or trying to stay in the spotlight, Van Hunt chose a different path. He left the big music business and moved to the independent music scene. In the indie scene, artists have more freedom. They can create the music they want without pressure from big companies. Van Hunt worked quietly, making music he believed in. He stayed away from the noise of fame and the constant attention of the media. Years later, Van Hunt came back with new music. But this time, he did it completely on his terms. He did not care about charts or popularity. He cared about being true to himself and his music. By walking away from the mainstream, Van Hunt found his peace and kept his creativity alive. Last celebrity on our list. Number 20. Rahsaan Patterson. Rahsaan Patterson is a singer with a very soulful and powerful voice. He started his music career in the 1990s, a time when R&B music was very popular. He became known for his smooth singing style and heartfelt songs. Many people loved his music, and he built a strong group of fans who appreciated his talent. Even though he was successful, Rahsaan never wanted to be a big pop star. He did not like the idea of chasing fame or being famous just for the sake of it. For him, music was about expressing himself and connecting with people, not about being in the spotlight or on the cover of magazines. As time passed, the music industry changed a lot. New styles of music became popular, and the business side of the industry became more focused on making stars and selling records quickly. Rahsaan did not want to be part of that fast-moving fame game, so he chose to step back quietly from the big stage and the loud world of celebrity. Even though he was not in the spotlight anymore, Rahsaan kept making music. He continued to create songs and albums for the fans who had stayed loyal to him. These fans loved his honesty and the deep emotions in his music. Rahsaan's voice and style remained strong and meaningful, even if he was not famous like some other artists. In the end, Rahsaan Patterson showed that you can have a lasting music career without chasing fame. His voice still shines through his songs, touching the hearts of many people who truly appreciate real, soulful music. To uncover more intriguing stories among Hollywood celebrities, don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.